Mother Maria Lucrezia Zileri, the woman of faith and courage, a woman with a vision who was able to see what is beyond the present time. Continuation of the series of the biographical notes of the servant of God, Madre Maria Lucrezia Zileri. On November 5, 1903, was the time of the foundation of Modena, which was strongly supported by the Reverend Padre Pesci, S.J., who, after having attended a little party given by the girls of the boarding school to the village girls of the festive oratory of San Michelino, wished that this good would also be done in Modena, which, during that time, did not have this kind of institution. Mother Zileri was rather reluctant to accept the proposal because she preferred to work in depth rather than extending it. But then, because of the encouragement received from Reverend Fathers Cugini and Pesci, and from Archbishop Bruni, and from several distinguished families, she was moved to open the house, having received it as a gift from Avvocato Forgheri, the father of an Ursuline. The house was placed under the protection of Saint Joseph. Therein, the festive oratory was immediately opened, which welcomed many girls from all over the city. Later, a school for work also arose, then a school for study. In this place, the Marian congregation was introduced, as well as the apostolate of prayer, the crusades of the Eucharist, and all the activities that the Institute promoted with great advantage for the young souls. During those years, with fruitful work and holy activities, God allowed the Holy Mother to be tested with atrocious moral pains for her extremely sensitive and delicate soul. The pains that caused her was due to misunderstandings and misinterpretations, not from bad people, but from good people from whom she could have expected support, comfort, and joy in her apostolate. It was a storm that lasted for several years, but was ended as if by magic through a gesture from the Divine Master. A storm which was, however, providential, because through it the Venerable Mother knew how to contain herself and remain fearless in giving wonderful examples without ever denying herself and not slowing down in prudence, patience, meekness, strength, and her unlimited trust in God. In this event, Mother paid with bleeding heart what would have been necessary for the development and fruitfulness of her institute. In 1907, unworthy campaign was promoted by Freemasonry against the ecclesiastics, and in a special way against the institutes directed by religious men and women. One day, at the Collegio of Santa Ursula, some gentlemen introduced themselves to be truly appointed by the higher authorities for a secret inquiry of the institute. They therefore asked to speak secretly to the boarders. The Venerable Mother, hearing what it was, replied with gentleness that she could not allow it. By insisting on the request and even raising their voice in a tone of authority, Mother, without getting confused and without bending, also assumed a tone of authority, and decently refused, telling them that she would never allow them to speak with the boarders unless in her presence or in the presence of their parents. The dignified firmness of the admirable woman confused the inquisitors, that they went away without saying a word. Such thing did not happen again. The relatives of the boarders, after knowing what happened, could do nothing except approving and applauded the firmness and the wisdom of the venerable directress. During those years, modernism also troubled the church. The Venerable Mother, without pretending to enter into the heart of the matter, neither she nor her daughters was unshakable in their faith in the words of the Vicar of Jesus Christ, and was anxious for the integrity of the doctrine, fearing that some wind of the condemned and suspicious innovation might be penetrated into some houses of Saint Ursula. She therefore increased the recommendations, even in writing, to stay united with the Holy Father, and to stay away from any influence from any person, even the ecclesiastical ones, whose doctrine was not that of Roman Catholic. And she was much in pain, attested in her letters, of certain confusions of ideas, and for consequence of false addresses and tactics going on those days, manifesting even among certain prominent Catholics. She recommended the superiors to read and have them read the encyclical Pascendi. She strived hard for the conversion of one of her very intelligent old student who allowed herself to be seduced by the new doctrines. She was not in peace until she saw her brought back to the sweet sheepfold of Christ. The series of the biographical notes of the servant of God, Mother Maria Lucrezia Zileri, will be continued in the next video.